It doesn't matter whether 36 governors are with the president.
Okay. It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Why?
I didn't have one governor in the last election, and I won 12 states. 12 states. Even after they've stolen two from me, I won 12 states. We have, by making Abuja state, we now have 37 states. Because that's what the judgment of the Supreme Court showed. That is not answer. Senator Rabi Kwankwaso won one.
One state.
Kano.
Kano, yeah.
APC, PDP, and Labour all won 12 states each. And in it, I lost two by the process of rigging. So I would have had 14. So it doesn't matter whether they took all the governors. What is important and what this campaign election is going to be all about is about how to make Nigeria work for the poor. TV.
Welcome to Nor TV, a global black television network broadcasting over 28 million homes around the world. Today we have a very special guest, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, who's here to answer the burning questions that viewers from around the world have been dying to ask. I also have my co-host, Mr. Emeka Ibukenjika. Your Excellency, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me.
Recently, students and teachers have been kidnapped in Oyo State, with at least one teacher and one young student having been reported as killed. What do you think the current government should be doing to rescue these people, and why do you think they've been unable to do so henceforth?
Well, let me tell you, the recent kidnapping in Oyo and in other states like abductions in Zamfara, among all the kidnappings recently, is in very, very sad situation for Nigeria. As you know, situations in Nigeria have deteriorated since 2022. Because if we look at the Global Terrorism Index, we were number 28. Number 8, sorry. We're number 8 in 2022. Number 6 in 2024. And now we're number 4. So it continues to deteriorate. So one of them very, very worried about the security situation. So this recent kidnapping adds to the overall security situation, which the average Nigerian is very, very worried about. I think government should pay more attention to. But of course, as you can see in Nigeria, we're preoccupied by the elections instead of the security situation. Nigeria now needs to do whatever is possible to tackle the security situation.
So by you saying whatever is necessary, what would you do if you had the opportunity? Because this is a very serious issue. You know, your state, people are worried around the country, around the world. Everyone is concerned. These kids have been there for 2 weeks. The kid died yesterday. So, and instead of that, there's people...
Well, like I said before, you know, issues of security is not what you discuss openly in the public. But I don't think the government is showing enough commitment. And it's very worrisome because under President Jonathan, there was one kidnap and the whole world was in protest against the government. Under President Buhari, in 8 years, there were 10 school abductions. And under the present government, in 3 years, they've surpassed that. What it then show, and the country is keeping quiet. The world is keeping quiet. The government is not showing enough determination. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, because I've been out of the country, there's a high-powered delegation to Oyo, what you call presidential team, that visited Oyo. That delegation, as serious as it might look, the leader of that delegation would have been the president. And one also questions, why are they just starting when there's been other previous kidnapping all over the country? It should have started from day one, from the very first one, personally being in charge as the person the country elected. That's what I would do. That's where I would start. I'll be at the forefront of it. I'll lead the delegation. And I'll show every commitment with every necessary effort to stop that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Excellency. Now, congratulations on your being the candidate for the NDC. And you recently selected Senator Kwankwaso as your running mate. What led to that decision, and why did you select him? Why do you think that he would be the perfect person for you to be on this run with?
I said it the day I nominated Senator Rabi Kwankwaso that we're going to be partners. We're going to work to build that new Nigeria that is possible. Senator Kwankwaso and I have similarities. Number one, he believes in pulling the poor out of poverty. He believes that a child of nobody can be somebody. That we have very similar belief. He believes in the most critical investment requires for development, education. That again, we have similar belief. He believes in that you have to create a healthy society. There's no other thing you need for development. When you invest in education, invest in health, and put people out of poverty, the country will develop. And I think we'll work together to achieve that. We'll work together for a new Nigeria. I believe that my number one priority is to unite the country. We will unite the country because we are coming from what you can call a background that will energize the poor, energize the masses that are uncared for today. Both of us, him from the north, me from the south, to say, let's build this new Nigeria. A Nigeria where tribe, ethnicity, religion will not be the issue. The issue will be about the welfare of the people, the education of the people, the health of the people. That's the Nigeria we want.
Fantastic. The other issue that that has come up multiple times, which I think you've probably been asked this question multiple times, is the fact that people are saying that you've moved from several parties. You went from APGA to PDP, from PDP to the Labour Party to ADC, and now NDC, which you were selected as candidate. People are obviously concerned as to why those movements have taken place and what led to your taking that decision, especially most recently to the NDC, being that you guys had a coalition that was formed within the ADC, where you had a group of minds together. What led to that decision, and what led you and Senator Kwankwaso to leave that coalition that was formed?
I think I've sort of explained this in several other outings and everything. And these are part of the things we're going to change to bring stability in the polity. The reason why these movements are is because of the nature of our polity, where the present government has decided to infiltrate and destabilize opposition parties. So
What do you mean? What do you mean by destabilize opposition party?
Everybody knows that in Labour Party, we had an issue. We went to court. The case was decided by Supreme Court in April 2025. The electoral body could not do anything till November, when they told the authorities within the party that as long as I'm there, they will not recognize that judgment. And I left in December 31st, and in January 7th, they recognized that 7 days after. Again, going to the ADC, you saw the multiplicity of litigations. America, party is just a vehicle. You cannot stay in a vehicle when it's headed in the wrong direction. When you see that the vehicle you are in can no longer take you to your destination, you just have to.
So are you saying that there are clear hands that it is from the
Everybody knows this is something that is known locally. These are some of the issues we deal. If I have opportunity of serving the country today, and like I said with my partner, Senator Kwankwaso, I assure you, you see stability in the polity, because I will ensure that the opposition parties remain strong and contributing to development of the country. For example, if today we have opportunity of serving the country, one of the first amendments we'll do is to ensure that all the parties are strong, well have internal democracy that's well regulated, and that we have proportional representation within the legislature that will allow parties, the only time you can change your party is during election. Once you're elected, you can't move from one party to the other, no matter the circumstances. All these laws that, unless there's internal problem within your party, is nonsense. Once you are elected, you will stay within that party till the end of that tenure. If you, for any reason, you move, you're replaced immediately.
So
like it's done in, you can't leave your party today in Ghana without facing a new election. You can't do it in Indonesia. You can't do it in South Africa. I can go on and on. Ours is a peculiar situation. And certain countries, third world countries, we need to change certain things that will bring stability. Government needs to encourage the opposition parties to remain stable. Government needs to see them as partners. In Nigeria, because our politics is transactional, government job is to destroy the opposition parties. Even the president said it. Now he's happy when he sees the opposition in disarray. You cannot be a leader when you see your opponents in disarray. We're not at war. We're at peace.
Now, based on the same trajectory of questioning that you just talked about, the last time you were at the Labour Party, you had all these defections where people went and joined the party because of you. After they got elected, many of them left. The same thing is happening now at the NDC. What steps, again, what physical steps, is it within the party or is within legislature? Because now you have a whole bunch of people that have signed up to the NDC. What specific steps should be taken to
There's no step to take, but I said there will be a law. That law will come into effect. It might not even affect them, but we will. For me, it's about building the future. We must make it work in the future. Today, It is not working. You must bring, we have chose to be a democratic country. And we must be. Just like we must be on the path of development. Today, Nigeria is moving in the wrong direction. Our compass is not heading to the wrong direction. We need to change that. And that's what we want to bring about. And it is in our polity, it's in our unity, it's in our development. As I said, I want to see a united, secure Nigeria. I want to see a Nigeria where we're investing in education, in the health of the people, and pulling the people out of poverty. That is measurable, and everybody will see it.
Okay, fantastic. So within NDC, just to stay on that, what, again, here you have, in the US, we have Democrats, we have Republicans. What is the party, what is NDC about? And why? Do you guys have the same manifesto coming together because you have people from diverse people joining?
No, we're not party. Let me clear. Party manifestos in Nigeria, for now, are fluid.
Okay.
It is individual. And I say it to everybody, America was not built, or developed world, or countries that are doing well. They were developed. And what happened to them happened to individual leadership. When you have a president that is committed to be on the right path, that is his journey. What is happening in Nigeria today is that you have a situation where the people in charge are not competent. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the compassion, the character, commitment to do the right thing.
Character.
Yes, character is very important.
That is character. Character is on that word, character.
Yeah, character is very important.
So if character is so important, you have most recently, which is all over the internet, one of your people that your supporters, Aisha Yusufu, was calling out members of ADC for doing the primaries. She, based on what we've seen online, that seems to be someone that's committed to democracy. She and people like Randy Peters. Do you think that, character should be something that should be emphasized when allowing people into parties? That's why we stayed on that word character, because even within the NDC, there is some friction here. What do you have to say to that?
Remember what I told you? Now, these are the things we're going to fix when we're in. You cannot fix nobody, nowhere in the world, have anybody been able to bring a change from the outside.
Even within your own party? Aisha says it's the same party, NDC.
I'm not running the party.
So Mr. Dixon is running the party.
I'm not saying this is not the party. You have, in every party, even in America here, you have frictions within the parties. But I'm saying that largely, we'll contend this when we're in government. You can't just, you see, people just think, oh, NDC is made up, they're not made up of new Nigerians. They're the same Nigerians that are in the other parties that are here. But when we start, you build an institution that will reduce such friction. That you have 1 or 2, 3 complaints. Remember what I said. NDC is a party that is less than 3 months old. I don't think you have to have a perfection in 3 months. But we will build an institution that will be lasting and make all those things people might complain a thing of the past.
As you mentioned, Nigeria has chosen to be a democracy.
Yes, and they must remain, and they will do the right.
Yes.
And that starts from leadership. Go and check what Yar'Adua did. When he came into office, he said, the process through which I came here is not satisfactory, and I want to make it better. That's a leader. A leader must be somebody who will look inward and know that unexamined life is not worth living. And that's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, the processes that are there today within a democratic space that's unacceptable. But you can't change it. I didn't say that when he was coming. He said it when he was in.
So what do you say to Nigerians everywhere who believe in what you're saying, but they question whether or not their votes will count? They believe, some of them, that their votes did not count. What do you say to them who are concerned about election day? How can they protect their vote?
Well, again, I keep saying, when Nigerians say whether their vote will count or not, it's because they don't even believe that their vote will bring about good governance. That is the first thing they need to believe. If they believe that their vote will better their life, the life of their children, the life of the Nigerians in the future,
Yes.
they will make it count. If I'm involved, will ensure it counts. All of us collectively will make it count.
What do they do right now under the present conditions?
Insist that their vote will be counted, recorded in their polling units.
So should they? Because
it's their life. It is their future. It's for the future of their children, the future of Nigeria. And I believe the Nigerians have suffered sufficiently enough to insist that that happens. And it's not a rocket science. Nations all over the world have done it. There's no reason why Nigeria should not be able to do it.
And then what advice do you give to Nigerians in the diaspora who cannot vote on election day? How can they support the election process?
Advocates.
Okay.
They have relations at home who they can advise on how to do the right thing, or how to vote rightly, or how to protect their vote, and support in any way they can that process to ensure that the right thing is done. There's so many things they can do that apart from voting. And I assure you that if we have the opportunity, if I have the opportunity of serving, Nigerians in diaspora will vote. We'll start this, even if it's just in few countries where there's large concentration of Nigeria. In today's world, where you can virtually do anything with IT, there's no reason why Nigerians, just like there's no reason why even voting within Nigeria should be a difficult thing.
Now, to stay on that line of thought, when we went on live here today, we had about maybe 6 people that came on that were complaining about having been unable to collect their PVC. They've gone to INEC offices. They are unable to collect PVC. They're saying they're slow. Sometimes they're not being responded to. What do you think should happen in the case where people, young people, Nigerians in Nigeria are going to these offices and are trying to get their PVCs and they're not being responded to by INEC? Secondly, Amupita, who is the INEC chairman that was put there by the president, there's been some controversy as him being a party member of the APC. And now, do you think he can be an honest, independent arbitrator in terms of based on what is being known so far? Those two questions are.
For me, all these I've mentioned, when we get there, we'll fix it. You don't need to. Our democracy today is not functioning properly. If we have opportunity of serving, you will see a 360 degrees. Even for those who are appointed, they will know the situation has changed. And if you don't do the right thing, you face the law. And you suffer for it. And once people know that doing the wrong thing will be punished, they'll do the right thing. But because today our polity is transactional, it's a business, it's criminalized. So you can recruit all forms of criminals And that's it. Amaputan is a professor of law. And he knows that. He knows whatever, all the things that are right.
And
But those who hired him would want him to do the wrong thing. Today we have professors conducting our elections. Yet the election is rigged and stolen. If we're involved, that will not happen. Because we will ensure that they're punished and as stripped of any qualification. When you have that, people will sit up. The law, you have a system that is not working. Our democracy will work. Like I said, other things will work. Whether it's corruption, whether it's this and that. And let us not think things will change if it remains in hands of same people who are choosing to do the wrong thing.
Your Excellency, do you believe that you won the last election?
Yeah, well, let's not go back in the last election. Nigerians are hungry today. Nigerians are looking for food. Nigerians are, the past is gone. Those who think about yesterday and today will miss tomorrow and focus on tomorrow.
But we can learn lessons from the past.
Yes.
What do you think
the lessons have been learned. The lessons have been learned. Let us use it. That's what I said. That's what I said. Defending the vote. And then we'll defend the vote.
So what do you think you'll do differently this time?
Well, if I tell you everything we'll do differently this time, then I won't be able to do it.
now there's most recently Mr. Makinde has come into the race, and a few other individuals. There are rumors also that former President Jonathan is going to be coming in with the PDP. Do you think any of these individuals coming in will affect?
That is the joy of democracy. As many as can join. That is the beauty of democracy. And like I said, we spend too much time talking about who is joining, who is democracy. For me, the discussion for tomorrow should be, how do we put food on the table of the average Nigerian? What do we do to ensure that the average Nigerian will not be afraid if his child leaves home, will not be afraid to send his child to school, will be sure that the child will go to school, and then when he leaves school, he can get a job. For me, that is the discussion on the table.
But that is important. The reason I'm asking this question is that for you to win as president in Nigeria, you need to have a certain percentage, which is in many cases, as you know, is in some cases is the last election, Mr. Tinubu had less than a certain percent, I think 25% or almost 30%, and he won. Now, the fact that you have all...
He had... Is it the vote cast?
The vote, yeah, from the vote cast. The total votes were about 99 million. And we
no, what it is, I tell you to again, these are the things we need to fix. If today I'm the president of Nigeria and we conduct election using the standard that has been established globally, if we conduct the election and less than 30% of registered voters cast their vote, we will repeat the election. But I can tell you there will be more, because I will make sure that we campaign enough, create awareness enough that over 30% vote. If you look at recent election globally, from Indonesia to America, to South Africa, to Ghana, I'm calling you where there's recent election, to UK, all the elections were over 60% of registered voters.
Yes.
Nigeria 2023 election were about 90-something thousand, million, about 90-something million registered voters. The number that cast their vote was under 25%.
Okay.
In every country of the world, and again I use South Africa, Ghana, Indonesia to give you an example, you have to have 50 plus 1 to be allowed to form government alone. So in South Africa, because ANC, the ruling party, received only 40% of the vote, they had to form a coalition. It's not a coalition of 10 parties to be able to form government. Because they didn't achieve 50 plus 1.
But you need legislators.
In Ghana, that's what I'm saying. These are things you need to change.
How, without that means that coming into power, you would have to have legislators.
No.
To do that.
No, I've governed the state with 30 members of a different party. When you come in and start serving well, your legislator will go with you. When people say no, because everybody will see the future. My brother, when you decide to do the right thing, even people who are not from your party will join in. You don't need to. All this, you have to have this. I govern the state without having 1 member from my party in the state. And they were passing all the things I want.
And why did that happen?
Because they saw I was doing the right thing. Because they saw the schools changing. They saw hair changing. They saw things changing. If you start doing the right thing, and people are seeing you're not doing it for your benefit, you're not stealing, because they want the things to be good. Even the society will pressure their people to do the right thing. Why would you have a situation where today, first is that the number of people, you registered 90-something million, and the total vote cast is under 25 million, which is under 25%. You allowed it. Even the declared winner got about 37%. And it's allowed. If you have a coalition today in Nigeria, it won't be the same thing. If you have proportional representation like the state of today, it would have been working. Because if you had it, let me give you an example. Let me use the Senate. It's 109, call it 110.
Okay.
Or call it 100.
Okay.
If you had 39%, 37%, call it 40%, APC would have had 40 senators.
Okay.
The next party was PDP, with about 30-31%. They would have had 30 senators. Labour had about 26-27, 25 senators. If you had 40 senators in APC today, 30 in PDP, and 25 in APC, then MPP led by Kwankwaso, and all of us that are leaders in the parliament, Nigeria won't be where it is today. We won't be borrowing recklessly. Security situation will not be like this, because we would have been able to put the president and whoever in charge on his seat to work or resign. Because there have been vote of no confidence or confidence vote. But you have a situation where a democracy is headed south, but everybody said not. Because of this.
Stay on that line of thought. The same issue you just talked about is happening where you have 30 governors have said that they're going to support President Tinubu in terms of from different parties, and many of them have decamped to the APC. In fact, many of them have contributed to a fund to assist him in his re-election. Now, what are your thought process in terms of seeing that happening, and why is that happening? What do you think is it the fact that they feel that the president is doing such a great job, that is why they're joining his party, or there's a specific reason why many of these governors from 30 states, which is a lot of states, you have to admit.
It doesn't matter whether that 6 governors are with the president.
Okay. It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Why?
I didn't have one governor in the last election, and I won 12 states. 12 states. Even after they've stolen 2 from me, I won 12 states. We have, by making Abuja state, we now have 37 states. Because that's what the judgment of the Supreme Court showed. That is not answer. Senator Rabi Kwankwaso won one.
One state.
Kano.
Kano's, yeah.
APC, PDP, and Labour all won 12 states each. And in it, I lost 2 by the process of rigging. So I would have had 14. So it doesn't matter whether they took all the governors. What is important and what this campaign election is going to be all about is about how to make Nigeria work for the poor. When this government came into being, you can say when APC came into being, we had 87, when this government came, we had 87 million Nigerians, about that, living in multidimensional poverty. Today is almost 140 million. Please, let's stop talking about election, party, and talk about the welfare of Nigerians.
Okay, welfare. Talk about electricity. The biggest problem, multiple governments have come and gone. Right now, we're in Mr. Tinubu's era. That problem.
Where he even said,
he said if he's not able to provide electricity,
and he doesn't,
that he doesn't want that, he should not be.
That is what I want you as a journalist. That is what I want you as a broadcaster to be telling the world that this man said, if I don't give you electricity, don't vote for me again. But instead of doing that, you people are sitting down with him and pretending you're not aware of that. That is where there's nothing in bringing back our electricity. If you listen to my acceptance speech,
okay,
I said in 4 years, Nigeria will be able to generate, transmit, and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts of electricity.
From 4,000 at which we're
today, yes, that's a promise. And I can
not transmit, actually.
Remember that was. Today, we have the capacity to generate more than 10.
Of course.
The problem is transmission and distribution.
Yes.
And I said, in 4 years, we will be able to generate, transmit, and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts. Because you cannot tell me that in 4 years, you cannot aggressively support the infrastructure that will help the transmission. It's not rocket science. This is done all over the world.
But you still have the same people that are working from the subsequent administration, from the previous administration.
No, I have worked with people. Well, I keep telling people, the teachers that were teaching in Anambra State when we were number 26 were those who were teaching when we were number 1. Leadership.
So what
changes everything. You have a leader who is determined, they'll deliver it. And I'll tell you, everything I promised now, deliver. Remember, I didn't say we're going to have 50,000 megawatts.
And you will deliver this in 4 years. You said, remember, there's another thing. You said you are only going to do 1 term. You said, with a gun to your head, you are not going to do that.
That's why I said 4 years. That's why I remain in 4 years specific. 4 years, not a day more. And I'll deliver this in 4 years. And Nigerians will see it changing annually. They'll see the change, they'll feel it.
So what do you say to those that, despite all of these broken promises, continue to support President Tinubu? What do you say to them?
It's unfortunate. for the future of their own children, that they can't support a system that will take revenge on their children.
And then what do you say to those, we see it here in the U.S. too, who just feel like there's no point?
Well, you know, we always choose to be complacent from a position of comfort or assumed comfort. But then, it's a life that's not worth living. Human life is about what you contribute to the society. You're measured by your compassion. A human being must be a compassionate person. Not that you're rich. Your richness, you've seen the richest people in the world die with their wealth. What makes the difference is your compassion to the welfare of humanity.
Now, I want to touch on an issue that is very important to us here at Nora TV. Press freedoms. We have been watching with utter dismay at what's been going on in Nigeria. The two incidences at which I would just highlight. One, a social critic, a very dark man, was talking about the fact that telling Nigerians to go get their PVCs and not to vote for the current administration, and talking about the fact that the president did not perform and did not provide electricity and the state of insecurity. And there were calls for his arrest. Another individual, Justice Crack, who is also one of your supporters, posted something regarding the army, the state of insecurity, what the army is being fed. He was picked up, locked up without notice, and held by the DSS. What do you have to say regarding the decline of press freedoms in Nigeria, which is now almost as bad as during the military era?
Well, it's not only a press freedom. It's also freedom. People like Malame Rufai is also being held.
Yes.
And so many other people. So, we have a system that is retrogressive. We have a system that is operated and focused in the right direction. We have a corrupt system. Nothing works. So it's only press freedom. Have you thought about the freedom or welfare of the people to have food on their table? So let's talk about the welfare of the people. Let's talk about education of the children. These are things so everything is not working. When things are working, press freedom, everything will work. There's nothing wrong in being criticized in government. In fact, if I say in a system where everybody thinks I'm doing the right thing, I'll be worried. Because no government in the world is perfect. People must criticize you. The number one job of a leader is learning and listening. So the more you criticize, the more you learn. By listening, you learn. And that's what you need to do. And that's what we want to do in that new Nigeria. To let people tell us that we're wrong. So we can do the right thing. That's why I said, within the first 1 year, I will visit every single state of Nigeria. So I can know what the problems are. You cannot know the problems without going there. Go to Indonesia and see what President Joko Widodo did. He was visiting everywhere. So you learn. So you listen to what is happening around the country.
Now you've traveled to multiple states and you've seen things that happen. Now that you are running again, I know over your last run, you did emphasize important things to you. What are your top 5 focus once you get in, if elected as president, what are the top 5 things that you can tell your voters that you would be your main focus?
I sing them every day. One is to unite the country.
Okay.
The country is not united. It is time to remove what divides us along ethnicity, religion, and other primordial things the politicians are put in place. Because when they cannot compete, they bring in all this. When they're incompetent, they bring in what divides us. When they're not, they don't have compassion and commitment. When they have faulty and false qualifications, character, when they lack integrity, which they know the people who question, they bring in all this. We're going to remove it. And make sure that we stand united. We're going to secure the country. We cannot have a country where people cannot go to bed and sleep with their eyes closed. We cannot have a country where mothers are not sure that their children that went to school will come back. We cannot have a country, I can go on, so we must secure the country. We will invest heavily in education. 20 million out-of-school children is not acceptable. We will invest in education, and people will see it, feel it, visibly and physically. We will invest in health. That's number 4. Primary health care must be there. That's why I said we must have functional. Today we're out of our almost 30,000 primary health care facilities. Only about 20% at most functional. We want to increase that number. As I said, that in 4 years, there must be a functional, well-manned primary health care in all our 8,809 wards. My target is 10,000 in the first 4 years. Minimum will be 10,000 functional primary health care. The government is supporting the system, they will know it's functional. That's how we want. So this will now start the journey of a citizen health care. We will start proper pulling people out of poverty by investing, supporting small businesses, genuinely small businesses, MSEs, genuinely in areas of agriculture, in areas of manufacturing, mini manufacturing, in areas of small businesses, distribution and everything. Genuinely, this is what we will now use to create mass employment. If you look at it, keep saying Indonesia, you will see that 90% of their jobs, employment, comes from this sector. That it shows a country that is developed. And that should be Nigeria, because that's how you can now have the big corporations of tomorrow.
I think many people, many viewers are excited to know that you plan to visit all 36 states, but you've already traveled extensively. What do you think, as you've talked to people, I'm sure they've told you their problems and their misconceptions. What do you think is the greatest misconception that Nigerians have about what's possible in Nigeria today?
Well, traveling as a candidate is different from traveling as a president. And allowing people to tell you the truth as president is different. Because they will genuinely tell you what is the problem. None as candidates, you only have opportunity. Yes, I've traveled extensively across the country. I've learned a lot about the country. I've listened. The first is that the people don't trust government again. So these are some of the things you need to do. You need to build trust. That takes time. Because they just see us as the same. They don't even believe in what I'm telling them. When I campaigned in Anambra State, and I was saying, no more school closure, we're going to do this in health, I had the same experience. People just said, oh, he's when he come, he will start stealing his own money. When I was campaigning and I said, I will never take public money that I'm not entitled to. Oh no, he doesn't know what he's talking. How can he be different? But when I came in and started doing it, they saw that it's possible. When I was saying we are going to cut the cost of governance when I was coming in, now we don't need Anambra State does not need the governor's lodge in Abuja. We don't need the office of first lady. We don't need this. People were saying, no, don't worry. When he comes in now, he will change. When I was saying we don't need the guest house, we don't need this, people were saying he will change. But when I came in and started doing it, the people now understood that it's possible. So when I talk about issue today of fighting corruption head on, they tell me the same thing. You cannot do it. No, you can do it. If you are not part of it, your wife and family is not, you reduce it by 50% at least. So it is a question of, you cannot say, that's why I keep telling people, I have served in the corporate world. So it's no longer saying he was a private businessman. I served in the corporate world where I chaired institutions. And nobody will ever say there was misappropriation or the wrong things done while I was there. I served as a governor. Similar things. So there's already what you can say a verifiable situations we can use to determine that if this person gets here, it will be different. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, such qualifications are actually negative on your side.
That's how I was going to ask you that.
They're not qualifications that promotes you, because it's a criminalized situation. So when they start see that this man who is aspiring is coming to clean up the place, they won't allow it to come in. Otherwise, so it's not a situation where you're giving a good mark, but it's a failure. Because if out of several people who are involved, only maybe about 5% did the right thing, see they failed. Because 95% headed to the wrong direction.
So you, apart from you, possibly, I think maybe Yado are the only two people that possibly left money in government coffers. So do you think it's something that's endemic in the culture itself, or is something that because everyone is doing it? So
it's normalized.
Why?
Well, that is what we'll find out when we get in. That's why we'll start changing.
Now,
but we must change it if we must develop. It will consume us.
Let me make a request. Do you have anything to say to the obedience? We have partner networks like Good Governance on YouTube that are very much dedicated to what you're saying. Always looking for a word from you on what they should continue doing, the hope they should have, sometimes what they should not be doing. Any word that you want to give to your diehard?
My advice to them is, first, stay within the law. do the right things, ensure that you're not part of destabilizing our country by doing the wrong thing or giving a bad image. Do not stay on course of probably false news. Always ensure that you sacrifice for a better Nigeria. Do not be part of the transactional Nigeria where you think money is everything. Money is not everything. The way people see money in Nigeria has not developed anywhere in the world. Money is not a measure of success. It shouldn't be. So Nigerians think Nigeria today is not productive. It should work hard for us to have a productive country that will benefit everybody, including yourself, because some of them don't have a job. They are the tools we are going to use when we talk about SMEs. We want to push them from where they are today into being entrepreneurs, being professionals, hard work, so the society can develop.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for coming. We appreciate it and wish you all the best in your run. And we look forward to being able to talk to you and possibly talk to Senator Kwankwaso at some point. Good luck.
Thank you. I assure you that I'll be coming as often as possible, and I want to always be able to talk to the people. You know, today we were not opportune to engage them directly. In the next outing, within the next quarter, we will engage them directly.
Yeah, we look forward to setting that up.
Thank you.
Have a studio in Lagos and Abuja. People want to talk to you directly. They want to hear from you. Hopefully you have Senator Kwankwaso with you at that point where they can speak to you guys directly and hear from the horse's mouth. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.